Hello everyone, this is Nirmala Thorve. Today's topic is what is client server architecture. So when we are implement a software, that time there's a number of architecture available and we have to choose one architecture. According to that requirement, we have to create a software. So first we start what is client server architecture. Client server architecture is a computer model in which the several host delivers and manages most of the resources and services to be consumed by the client. What is client? Client is a user machine. All user we consider that one is a client. Okay, now the next paragraph. This type of architecture has one or more client computer connected to the center over a network or internet connection. This system shares computing resources. Client server architecture is also known as network computing model or client server network because all the requirements and services are delivered over a network. So it is also one kind of um, networking architecture also, because all clients should be connected with the some network connection, or we can say internet connection only. If they have a connection between server and user or client machine, then only it can access the all facilities and resources and services. Otherwise it is not possible to access it. Okay, see the okay, now you can see the example graphical representation of a client server architecture. You can see number of computer machines which is considered as a client machines, and they all machines are connected to the a particular server environment, which is represent a connection with the help of network, or we can say internet. Both is possible, maybe local area network, maybe a wide area network, maybe metropolitan area network. Means all kind of connection can be accessible, means consider here. Okay, now it is connected to the web server. What is web server? It is a middle kind of tier in which all services can be used by the web server, and web server will fetch that information or data from the database. What is database? It's a collection of a data in a huge storage, which is considered as a database. Okay, so this one is a one box which is represent a web server, which is combination of one server machine plus database. It means storage. So this two tier we can see. First one is a client machine tier side, and second one is a server side. So that architecture consider the client server model of four. Okay, so in this architecture we use four machines, three machine as a client and one machine as a web server, which is a request serving, or we can say it's provide services to the clients. Okay, so this one is a simple architecture, and you can see one more architecture in which there's a computer, mobile and laptop. As a client, we consider all devices are connected with the internet, and it's directly connected to the server. So we can say if there is an internet connection, then only we can connect the all clients with the server. So this is also one kind of client server model. You can see the another one in which number of devices which is connected with the web server with the help of internet connection, and web server contain or connected with the database. That one is a web server definition, uh, client server architecture. Now we can see one more thing. That one is a set of clients which is connected with the set of servers. Maybe we can consider a server, maybe a proxy server. So these all architecture, these all types of architecture consider as the client server model. Now the next architecture is service oriented architecture, SOS. SOA is a structure that allows services of communicate with each other across different platforms and languages by implementing what is known as a loosely coupled system. So there's a one term we are using, loosely coupled system and tightly coupled system. So in loosely coupled system, every platform or every computer has their own memory, but in a tightly coupled system they share a common, or we can say local or common memory. So they are dependent more than the loosely coupled system. So here we consider the SOA is a loosely coupling system. While the concept of SOA has been around for many years, it is also within the past decade that it has rises to the forefront of software related technologies. The term loose coupling refers to the client of the services and its ability to remain independent of the services that is required. So here is there's a different types of services provided by the server, and it is not only one server, it is set of different kind of servers. They talk to each other, they communicate to each other, and it will provide services to the customer. The most important part of this concept is that the client, which is itself can be a service, can communicate with the service even if they are not closely related. This facilitated communication is achieved through the implementation of the specified interface that is able to perform the necessary actions to allow for the transmission of data. So we can understand the concept because here a loose coupling system which is allow different kind of platform, different kind of servers which is able to provide services. It means maybe a client itself may be a service provider. So it is very interesting and very big concept which is nowadays we are using, because when we are implementing a globalization, that time this concept is very useful. The importance of a service oriented architecture, there are various advantages. So we can see first one is a creates reusable code. The primary motivator for companies to switch on an SOA is the ability to reuse code for different application by reusing code that already existing within a service. Enterprises can significantly reduce the time that is spent during the development process. So we know if we are implementing reusability in a system, it means we can use same particular set of code in a different application as well. For example, we are providing a message service in a one software, so that model we can also add in another software itself also, because both are providing SMS servicing, but it is not a part of a single one. Means inheritance we can implement here, so we can build a reusability of code. So next service is promotes interaction. A major advantage of the particular SOA structure is promotes interaction, because there's a set of different kind of different platforms. So it is very important to communicate to each other if it wants to be a part of a system. So every part of a system should able to communicate to the each part of the system. So it provides interaction as well. So a major advantage is using SOA is the level of the interpretability that can be achieved when properly implemented. With SOA, SOA no longer will communication between platforms be hundreds in operations by the language on which they are built. Once a standardized communication protocol has been put in the place, the platform system and the various language can remain independent on each other while still being able to transmit data between client and server. So there's a no any border or boundaries or limitations according to the different kind of platform we are using. It means if we are combining number of application or services together, there is no necessity to build every service in the same language or in the same platform. So maybe one module or one service we provided in Java, it is also acceptable other service which is made by the C or C++ or HTML or some other language or other platform. There's a no problem or no uh, we can say the compatibility of the service is provided with the help of SOA. So the next advantage is allows for scalability. Scalability means we can create a service or the system very flexible. We can scale it anytime. When developing application for web services, one issue that is of concern is the ability to increase the scale of the service to meet the need of the client. We know that every client has their own need or maybe the different needs, so we cannot identify every requirement of a client with the help of only single client or a set of clients. So we have to create a system which is acceptable by the global users. So it is very important to be make a system very flexible or scalable, so we can change it or we can extend it with the client requirement. All too often the independency that are required for the applications to communicate with the different services inhabit the portion for scalability. We have to understand the requirement of a client and we have to implement it. If a system is not scalable, it is not possible to add the new model. So allows for scalability. So the next one is reduced cost. Cost means the how much money we require to create a software, how much time we require to create a software, maybe how much manpower we required or team member we required for that. So this all thing we consider as a cost for the particular software. So when we just try to identify uh, SOA based system always reduce cost, time as well as manpower. So this one is very useful. See, in business the ability to reduce cost while still maintaining a desired level of output is vital to such success, and this concept holds true with the customized services solutions as well. By switching to an SOA based system, business can limit the level of analysis that is often required when developing customized solution for the specific application. So already we understand already we understood what is reusability and scalability. With the help of that we can also reduce the cost. So uh, uh, in this lecture we understand what is SOA and client server architecture. I hope you understand the concept. Thank you.